Hey, it's my favorite time of the year, early fall. The water temperature is just starting to drop. We're in the upper 60s now. You could see the trees are just starting to get some color to them. What does that mean? It means there's a transition of fish starting to happen. Good bites are right around the corner. I got a chance to get away for a couple days out of the office myself, clear my head. Yeah, you know, after an incredibly busy spring and summer filming, we're starting to do a little bit of fall fishing, which is my favorite time of the year for everything. Today we're gonna go do a little walleye fishing, and I'm gonna talk about a little bit of a transition that the walleyes take at this time of the year that happens on a lot of lakes, really a lot of lakes. Don't get much better than this.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
Got him. See if I get this baby in. Feels good. Feels like what we're looking for. Haven't seen her yet. She's pounding. Pretty nice. Yeah, decent eyeball. Decent eyeball. Come here, baby. Oh man, when you're throwing crankbaits like this, you best have this with you. I will get her off there. Well, we're on the board. We're on the board with our first one. Huh? To start, I had another one. I felt it 3 minutes ago, 3 casts ago, I had another really nice one. You know what's happening here this time of the year, I mentioned that these fish are going, you know, through a bit of a transition. And in my part of the world, where I fish walleyes a lot, upper Midwest region, this usually starts to occur around mid-September. And a lot of the bait and a lot of the fish that have been suspended, and they start making a major migration back into the shallows, in many cases, spots they were in spring of the year. And that's just starting to happen now, and for the next 6 weeks, it's just gonna accelerate, get better and better and better. And this happens in most of the walleye lakes that I fish in. You have a fall movement back up shallow, and naturally that's that night bite trolling Rapalus too. But it's just starting to trigger itself now. Lakes haven't turned over yet, but they're right starting in the process. I can just see. Good one, good fish there. That's a good one. That's a good one. Ooh, boy, he hit that thing. Woo! Oh man, get out of those weeds. I don't want you going in the weeds. I don't know if this is an eyeball or not. I hope it ain't a big toothy critter, but it's a good fish. I got a feeling it's Mr. Tooth. No, big eye. Big eyeball. Oh, whoo! I'm liking this. I am liking this. Yeah, nice fish. Well, she's not giant, but she is nice. All right. Got her, got her, got her. Oh, look at that. She did me a big favor. She came off. There's my shad wrap. She got in the net, she came off. What a friendly fish. She wanted to be camera friendly. Look at that one, huh? That's what happens this time of year. These fish are feeding up. They're starting to feed up, and it's the beginning of a fantastic fall bite on so many of these lakes that happens in the shallow water. Let me get her back. Boy, that's a nice fish. Really a nice fish. Okay, babe, look at that. Gold. It's called Minnesota gold. What's happening during this transition, as I mentioned, a lot of these fish start coming in from suspended fish, basin fish, you know, and they start bunching up together. A lot of them were spread in smaller groups. Now they're starting to get on key structures and can be there in pretty big schools. You'll see the spinner bite starts to wane. It's nowhere near as productive as it was for the last, in some bodies of water, 2 months. Yeah, you know, the cork and bites with leeches starts to wane. 2, 3 different baits come into play. Jigs of some kind, hard baits, Shad Rap type baits like this are absolutely deadly. And at night, the old standard minnow-shaped Shad Rap pulling over the flats at night. We're right in that transition, and I love catching them like this. I love this now.
This segment is brought to you by Big Bite Baits, designed to bring the big bite to your line.
Got him. Whoa, got him. Whoa, got him. We got him waylaid here. Ooh, this one is a flipper, actually. A flipper. I don't even need a net on this one. She's right on the border, but I don't need a net on her. Pretty nice one if I was gonna be hounding dinner. If I was gonna be scarfing up dinner tonight, she'd have been good. When I said a flipper, she was right on the edge. Right on the edge of that. All right. Right on the edge. Okay, baby. We'll get you back real quick. Yeah, I mentioned the style of bait. This is the new Shad Rap Elite series. They did some stuff with this bait that is not in the original Shad Rap. It's heavier, for one thing. It's designed where you could cast it. It's got a series of magnificent finishes. The hooks are like needles. This is a high-end, high-quality Shad Rap, and it is a killer bait. The shad bait is probably the #1 selling hard bait in the entire world, in the whole world. You see how I'm working that rod? You feel it vibrating. I'm actually jerking it, and I'm constantly making that bait do something different. Constantly changing speed of direction, skyrockets the bite, skyrockets it. You don't want to cast it out and just reel it back in at one speed. You know, I want you to imagine in your mind, you see those walleyes following this thing. Just imagine that, he's tracking behind it. He's following, all of a sudden you give that erratic jerk and he just jumps on it, man. That's what's happening. And they walleye, they'll follow that thing. If you're going steady, they're following it. And as soon as you get a direction like that, you're on. That's all it takes. Ooh, this is a good one again. This is another one of them good ones. Definitely a good one. This is why I like fall fishing. This is a really good fish. Yeah, she's not as big as I thought she was, but she is plenty good. And I don't, that bait is harmonica in her mouth. Harmonica. Let me get this, I'm putting this little 5 aside here. Look at that, she really took that thing in pretty good. You know, when you understand the seasonal movements on your favorite body of water, for any kind of fish, I'm talking about walleyes today, and you match up the seasonal movements, know where the fish are at, spring, summer, fall, you got great guidelines on particular bodies of water that are patternable. Is that the right word? Yeah, it is. And it's the classic FLP equals success. Find the fish, understand the location, the environment they're living in, things like forage base, water color, wind, weather changes, all impact what they're doing on a particular lake, on particular structures, and that determines the kind of presentations you're going to use. Put all 3 of them together and you're filling the boat with a great day on the water. That's what makes a good fishing experience. Understand the fish, how they move on your favorite body of water, match it up to the right lures at the right time. In this case, in fall for walleyes, the shallow water movement, Shad Rap, slatline trolling with standard grapple, and jigs. It could be jigs and plastic, it could be hair jigs. Can't be beat. These are the presentations of choice now where I'm at when the water's hitting into the mid-60s and going on. This will stay now until I can't put the boat in the water anymore and everything freezes over. They like to eat when you're throwing the right thing.
You don't have all bluebird flat calm days.
Just a perfect eating size fish.
See, that's what I'm talking about, these Daiwa drags.
We got walleye stuff, we got crappie stuff, we got pike stuff.
This boat is rigged up about as nice.
Easy to use, and it flat out works.
It's a must-have when you're talking about big waves. Well, these trout are so darn tough.
Incredible 11-year warranty.
I'm gonna go to a rock spot here, really good, a couple rock rises, some rock finger. This is good cranking weather today. Been cranking in and around weeds, sparse weeds and that. I'm gonna go to some rock spots for a couple hours, hour and a half. Weeds been holding fish, yeah, but we're gonna try some rock stuff today. This particular lake I'm on is really eutrophic. You know, relatively shallow, like a lot of good walleye lakes are. Got a pea green algae bloom on it. Still, it's stuff should be starting to die off in there. But these kind of lakes always got, one thing I like about them, they always got some shallow water walleyes in them, always. My front unit is set up. I got mapping system, 2D, down imaging, and mega. That's how I got my front unit set up. You can see watch when I pan right here. Watch right there. That's all shallow rock. That's a rock pile sitting right there. It tells me as much in shallow water and particularly where to cast. You know, it isn't only to see a fish and throw to it, that's for sure. Look at that, that's all shallow rock up there. Starts about 25, 30 feet away. You can see the break line and then it just zips up there. Good fish there. I don't know what that feels like, a walleye. Feels like a good walleye. Feels like a good walleye. Pretty sure it is. Nice walleye. Very nice walleye. In the pea green algae area. Look at that. Come here, Mr. Net. We need you. Come here, come here. Got her. Got her, got her, got her. Another good one. You know, a lot of anglers and a lot of bodies of water love trolling for walleyes. And on a lot of lakes, that's the way to go. But for me, when I can catch walleyes like this consistently up in shallow water, with a rod and reel in my hand, working the bait, doing what I'm doing, I love it. I really love it. I love fishing like this. It's contact fishing. In fishing like this, pretty much everybody uses an open face spinning rod and reel combination. The line is really simple. I've got Suffix braid on here, 10-pound test, and 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. The rod I'm using is an Avid series walleye rod. They got a series of rods for bass, walleyes, etc. If you're a walleye fisherman, you might want to take a look at this Avid series of rods. They got the really good stuff in here. It's a 7-1 medium power fast action. Let's take a look at that. This is perfect for pitching and throwing baits like this in shallow water. You know, and they come out with a handle design. You're grabbing the grip. It's all cork grip, and you're grabbing the front end of it like this. It's a little bit bulkier. Look at that. You see that little bit of bulk on there? You'd be surprised how comfortable that is, and it gives you more leverage, a lot of leverage. Avid series in a walleye line. Take a look at it. You'll like it as much as I do. I can just feel myself walking over those rocks. You know, my reel of choice that I use a lot in my walleye fishing is a size 2500. This is the Daiwa new Tatula 2500 LT. The size 2500 is what I use for most of my walleye fishing. And in my bass fishing, I go up to the 3000. It just works for me, and I'm pretty sure it will work for you. The 25 is just big enough. You go much smaller and you start running into line management problems. At a size 25, everything runs really smooth.
So that was on a number 8 Shad Rap.
Your style of boat control is really key.
One that was there from the very beginning.
You want to be able to see in the water. The adventure begins.
We are loaded for bear. We got
You know,
pikes.
there's so many different ways to fish for walleye. Dependability and efficiency.
Simple, fast, and easy.
The best rods on the planet. Ooh, there he is. Walleye, walleye, good walleye. This one almost hit by the boat. We're talking about that directional change. Got some shoulders on her. She's got some shoulders. Oh yeah, really good one. Real good one. Time to get excited. Oh yeah, might be the best one of the day. Come on, man. Oh yeah, you're a beauty. You can get a net on you. Oh yeah, she's a good fish. Oh man, really good one. That hit almost under the boat. I had that directional change. You know, the bait was just getting ready to turn up when the baby decided to bite. Look at that. Wow, what a day. You know, I've had a picnic out here, and I'm so glad I decided to leave the office for a little while, go throw around some new Shad Rap Elites. The conditions were really right for these walleyes to start coming into shallow water and start feeding up. Don't get much better than this. For me, walleye fishing is a rod and reel in my hand, casting for walleyes. Makes no difference if it's a jig, if it's a Shad Rap, a jigging spoon, a blade bait. That's how I love to catch fish like this. And I've been whacking them really good today. Hi everybody, I have a guest with me on today's show, Chris Feline. We work together on a business called Target Walleye. He sells advertising space for Target Walleye. But more importantly, he has a life story that I think a lot of you will find interesting. I'm going to let him tell it. Go for it, Chris.
Thanks, Al. Well, Al, I grew up with a pretty normal upbringing. I had a family who was close, loved me, took care of me, introduced me to God. I was good in school, really good in sports, figured I was going to play pro baseball someday. And as I grew through high school and into my 20s, I was into drinking with the guys and having fun, and that's what it was, partying. And I got in some trouble, but it didn't really hurt anybody, so I continued on. Well, I continued on and I got married, and I was very happy, had 4 kids, had a home, a career. Ultimately, I continued to drink and I started losing that. And by the time I was 40, my wife and kids had left. We lost our house. I lost my job, and so I'm now homeless. I felt godless, unloved, and my most precious and prized relationship was with a bottle of booze. And I woke up one day and I felt a calling to go to my email. I don't know why. I hadn't checked it in a year and a half, and I walked across town and checked my email, and my father was right on the top email entry saying, "Hey Chris, I was just at our church. I saw Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge, singing songs and telling stories just like yours. And you have to consider doing this because Jesus is the only one that's going to save you." And I thought he was crazy because I was almost 40. I was 40 at that point, and I wasn't a teenager, but I took his advice and I walked through the doors dragging my swollen liver behind me. When I got there, I wanted to leave. I didn't know why I was there, what it was going to do for me, but I stuck it out. And on the second day, I got on my knees and cried out to God, saying, "I know I'm a mess, God, and if you're there and if you will fix this mess, I will stay this entire 13 months. And I did. And I graduated with honors. I decided to stay in the Brainerd Lakes area. I met some wonderful people in the program, and one of those led me to a new career where I made a lot of money. And it was great, but I started seeing myself fall more back into the world and unprioritizing what God's will was versus mine. And I started looking for something. Nothing was there, and I kept praying to God because I had no joy. And I finally called my boss and said, you know what, this is my notice. There's something else out there I'm going to do. And he said, what? And I said, I don't know, but a door will open. And literally about a week later, Jim Kelkefin, one of the original owners of Target Walleye, called me and asked me to help out with the digital magazine. And I said I'd be happy to. And it wasn't a full-time gig and didn't pay hardly anything, but it was fun being in the industry, so I did it. And we fast forward a few months, and I was offered, hey, we'd like you to take this on full time. We'd like what you're doing. And I said, that would be great. Let's pray about it. The Lord said do it, so here we are. I'm now the Director of Sales and Marketing for Target Walleye, and feeling blessed. And what could go wrong? Well, I was diagnosed with throat cancer in December. And it was a very hard diagnosis. I questioned some things at first, and then I said, what am I doing? This is a God of miracles. This is who saved me. And I reached back out, and all my friends, family, and prayer warriors rallied around me, and we started praying, and here we are 4 months later. I left the oncologist yesterday cancer-free.
Hallelujah. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you for having the courage to share your story.
My pleasure, Les.
God loves you, cares about you, and wants the best for you. He is always there. He's standing at the door. All you got to do is open the door, open up your heart, and you will have miracles happen in your life. And this book is the miracle-making book. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We will see you on the water.